Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be having a closer look at the life of Lauren Bessette. As many of you know, Lauren was Carolyn's older sister. She was a twin, and she was unfortunately the third passenger on the plane that took all three lives that day. I do want this video to have an upbeat tone to it though. Lauren was extremely accomplished and she had a zest for life and she achieved so many things in a short amount of time. So I want this video to really be focused on those wonderful things that she did. Lauren was a really beautiful girl. In this picture that you guys are looking at right now, she's on the bottom left. Carolyn, of course, is a blonde on the bottom right. And just above Carolyn is Lauren's twin sister and Carolyn's other older sister, Lisa Bessette. Before we get started, I really want to thank you guys so much for your support on the last couple of videos. It's been so interesting reading all of your comments and all of the different perspectives that everybody has. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe this video, please, and also follow me over at Bessette Fashion on Instagram. I'm posting some different style content over there where it's more so focused on what Carolyn wore and more so fashion. But let's get into the details of Lauren's life. So very similarly to Carolyn, of course, they share the same exact early life. Lauren was raised in Greenwich, Connecticut, and Lauren and Lisa were twin sisters. They were only 14 months older than Carolyn. Because of their closeness in age, the sisters were always really close and really good friends, all the way from their early life to their time in the late 90s in Manhattan. After high school, Lauren went on to study economics at Hobart and William Smith colleges. And this college now actually has a lab in the Asian Languages and Cultures program, which is named after Lauren. So what many don't know is that Lauren was actually fluent in Mandarin. She learned the language fluently while she was in college, and this allowed her to land a position with Morgan Stanley in Hong Kong right after graduating. This is so incredible for me if I think about it. Even now in 2023, it would really be something for a young college student, American college student, to become fluent in Mandarin and then land this incredible position in Hong Kong right after graduating. But Lauren did this in the 90s, where it was even more remarkable and even more rare. Lauren was really passionate about her job, and during her time in Hong Kong, she worked on a deal to take China Eastern Airlines public, and she made frequent trips to Shanghai while she was working on this deal. Now, this was before business in China had been westernized at all. This was in the early 90s. She spoke fluent Mandarin, and her friends have come out and said that here was this young, super attractive, very stylish woman, half the age of all the executives in these Chinese companies, that spoke absolutely no English. Her ability to command the room and get things done with this deal, especially, this is where she really broke out while she worked on this deal, was just something that no one had seen before. She was a real star in her
Some have even
said that in any other situation, any other family, it would have been Lauren that would have been the breakout star, and others have even said that she would have gone on to be even more successful than John and Carolyn. But I don't know, that's just what they say. What's interesting is that a lot of people who worked with Lauren at Morgan Stanley describe some of the same qualities that others saw in Carolyn in the fashion industry. So Lauren has been described as very charismatic, just like Carolyn, and with a poise and grace of somebody much older. And it's interesting that Carolyn received those same type of compliments and descriptions in a completely different line of work. She was said to be really fashionable, so she had a great sense of style at Morgan Stanley, which was new. It was a mainly male dominated field, and even for the women who did work there, she brought a spark of fashion into it that the company hadn't seen before in both its offices in Hong Kong and New York City, as reported by her friends. And what's interesting is that her sense of style definitely carried over and influenced Carolyn as well. And a lot of friends have come out and said that Carolyn's love of Prada was inspired by Lauren. Apparently, Lauren absolutely loved Prada. And we see this also in Carolyn, who loved her Prada bags and, of course, her Prada shoes as well. So Lauren was really someone to behold. She was incredibly accomplished and she also looked the part. And I wanted to share with you guys this story and this little snippet of something that her friend shared. So her friend said she would walk into a room and people would think, okay, somebody brought their assistant, and she'd get up and present the IPO pitch in Mandarin. So another people would be like, what? I've never seen anything like this. With Lauren, and this was told by Adam Clammer, a co-worker and a friend. 4 years and he also went on to say that she was so humble and said that he was so surprised and taken aback by her because she really took an interest in the younger colleagues at Morgan Stanley. And he's come out and said that she was always there to ask, how are you guys doing? Understanding that we were the last ones to turn the lights out in the office and the first ones in the office. She didn't have to do any of that. She built a camaraderie with the junior colleagues, and she understood leadership in that regard. Really understand and respect your underlings and the work that they're doing. And he recalled this time when he was having trouble with spreadsheets, and Lauren actually worked with him one-on-one to help him get up to speed with the spreadsheets. And he also turned to her when his mother passed away, and she was one of the few colleagues who he really, really trusted. So this just goes to show Lauren's character in the workplace in private when nobody knew what she was doing publicly. This is who she really was. So Lauren's life really began to change when she transferred to Morgan Stanley's Manhattan office. She purchased a loft on White Street in Tribeca for around $1 million, and this loft was just a few blocks from where John and Carolyn were living at John's loft. And because of their closeness and proximity, they really started spending a lot of time together. And these are the pictures that we can see of the sisters together. There's not too many public pictures of Lauren available, but when she moved closer to Carolyn, we did get some paparazzi pictures of her, which we still have to this day. So in 98 and through 99, Lauren really lived that New York City life. She was always trying new restaurants in the East Village. She would go out to the ballet, the opera. She would go to performances at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. She would go to fundraisers in the Hamptons, galas at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. So she was really out and about those final years of her life. She loved dancing at Webster Hall, and one of her favorite restaurants was Cowgirl in West Village. Lauren was also reportedly dating Bobby Shriver. Now, of course, Bobby is a Kennedy. His mom, Eunice, was John Kennedy's sister. So she was John Jr.'s aunt. And the boys were cousins together. So the fact that they were dating the Bessette sisters really brought them close together. And they all just had a really wonderful time together those last couple of years. So on the last day of Lauren's life, which was in July 1999, tomorrow, actually the next day when I'm recording this, today is July 15th, tomorrow will be July 16th. That will be the anniversary of the 3 lives that were lost that unfortunate day. And so that day, Lauren had plans to visit Martha's Vineyard, and John and Carolyn had plans to go to Cape Cod for John's cousin Rory's wedding. And so they offered Lauren a ride to Martha's Vineyard, and they would drop her off there and then continue on. Now, of course, they never ended up making it to either destinations, and both of Lauren and Carolyn's lives were taken, alongside, of course, the pilot John's life as well. This picture that you guys have been looking at for the last little bit was Lauren's business card, and it was one of the first items that was recovered from the plane wreck. I want this video to serve in remembrance of somebody who was so remarkable, so accomplished, so unique, and who really lived their life to the fullest. And I think that Lauren's family and friends were so lucky that they got to really know such an incredible person. And I'll end this video on this note. It was a statement given to the press by Carolyn and Lauren's mom, dad, and stepdad, and it was released the month that they died. So this is what the statement said. John and Carolyn were true soulmates, and we hope to honor them in death in the simple manner in which they chose to live their lives. We take solace in the thought that together they will comfort Lauren for eternity. And that's so powerful. So we'll end this video on that note. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and let's all take just a moment to remember the wonderful life that Lauren Bessette lived.